Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel and to this video of building the 148 Nesher by Kinetic. Today's video is a bit different and I apologize in advance. Sometime into the build I was so mad with it that I just stopped recording. But now that the kit is complete, I think future builders of this kit or similar ones like the Mirage 3 or 5 by Kinetic can find some information useful. So I decided to go ahead and make a video based on images and a lot of talking, which I hate, but it's on me for not filming enough. I promise this is not going to be just a slideshow with background music, as I will go over what I did. But if you're the type of person that gets annoyed by image-based videos, this is the time to move on to something else. So without further ado, let's dive in and start covering the build. First things first, inspiration. The idea to build this kit came about 2 years ago, when the Israeli IPMS was holding a group build for the 50 years mark of the Yom Kippur War. And the Nesher looked like a straightforward kit that can be done quickly. The pictures that caught my eye was of this Nesher number 561 with its impressive kill marks, seen on the Tamrak post-war. A few words about the kit. Besides the beautiful artwork, the kit offers the option of building either a single or a double seater, each version having 2 tail numbers you can choose from. Detail is very impressive and includes riveting and very nice panel lines, but to me the plastic felt a bit too soft and the fitment left a lot to be desired. Decals are by Cartograph, so quality is top notch, although as you see later I didn't use the bigger decals as I painted them instead. While I was waiting for the kit to arrive, my good friend Amit Yari gifted me an aftermarket seat by Quick Boost. After initial priming, I tried to brush paint the seat, did a gross dry brush on the instrument cluster, and in general didn't invest enough in the cockpit. The seat immediately disappointed me, as it looked like the details in the lower seatbelt straps was non-existent, and it all looked like a big blob. I figured I'll give the entire cockpit another go, so I left it overnight in some lacquer thinner to remove the paint, but boy was that a mistake. First, the resin seat just melted to the point of no return. Second, the soft plastic of the Kinetic cockpit was also compromised, and some details were lost. I decided to move back to the kit seat and choose another instrument cluster from the menu that comes in the kit. It might not be 100% accurate, but my gut feeling is that the one in the kit isn't either. And anyway, I doubt someone will care. I surely don't. The kit seat lacks details, so I added straps out of thin cut masking tape. As you can see, I initially started with the yellow tape, but later decided to redo the whole thing using the thicker white tape. It's pretty much the same, just didn't feel like reshooting the whole thing. To mimic the seat's garment rippling effect, I glued small pieces of kitchen wrapping paper on top of some CA glue. I feel all in all it's not that bad. Here I'm painting and doing some effects on the seats themselves. I then moved to paint the seat belt. The color I chose initially was too light, so I had to redo the whole thing with olive drab. Once the seat was done, I noticed it wouldn't fit in the cockpit, as it was sitting too tall. Anyway, I had to sand down the little plastic part inside. Also, I thought it would be cool to add some wiring. After the cockpit, it was finally time to move the wheelbase. And while spraying metallic, I took care of the exhaust and engine turbines as well. Some detail painting with a brush, some pin strip wash and weathering, and it was time to move on to the body. Now the fun starts. Right off the bat you can see the upper part of the wing doesn't sit nice with the bottom and there's too much plastic on the inside. A lot of sanding will be needed here. Also, no matter how much I try, the air intake wouldn't conform completely to the rest of the fuselage. So like I was saying, a lot of sanding need to be done. And I mean a lot, seriously a lot. On top of that, connecting pins on the underbelly were actually not allowing it to sit flush against the fuselage, so I had to remove them too. And in general, the upper wings didn't sit well with the fuselage. I would suggest trying first gluing the upper wings to the kit next time. To close the gaps in the wing roots, I used a piece of styrene, masked as much the lines as possible to minimize detail loss, and started filling with putty, sanding and repeating. At this point, I felt this kit was going to end up in the trash. This is when I gave up setting up the video recording. Didn't thought this would turn out to be anything anyone would ever like to see. I just kept filling and sanding and filling and sanding, and the kit still looked like crap. The nose was also not very simple and a challenge by itself. It has panels that needed to be removed, and the fit wasn't. After masking the canopy and adding some more details to the cockpit with copper wire, it was time for the first priming session. As expected, it would not be the last one. After many more sanding and priming sessions, I was finally okay with the result. Not great, but as best as I could get it to be. The canopy was masked and glued, just to find this part doesn't fit too good either. And so another project started. I started by filling the gap with some CA glue, then sanded the heck out of it, losing all the beautiful rivets. Since at that point I didn't own a riveting tool yet, I used a vise with a needle to try and rivet the canopy. Not amazing, but it was a great experience. Finally, it was time to put the putty down and start enjoying the build. I started with the Ordnance. Fuel tanks were painted with silver. For the missiles, I initially went with the kit's AM-9B, codenamed Procon in the Israeli Air Force. But after further research, I learned these missiles were never used with the Nesher. So I caved in and got a set of ResKit Chauffeur 2 missiles. These are 3D printed with great detail. Two notes. First, be careful removing the missile from the sprue, as the rear wing are fragile. Second, I found the best way to add the clear missile heat seeker was carefully drilling a hole for it. All in all, after painting and some excessive weathering with paint chipping, I'm happy with the result. Another great aftermarket accessory was the res kit wheels that I received from Amit. The wheels are beautiful, only problem is they are a bit too wide for the Nesher. I dry brushed silver on the wheels, drilled bigger holes to fill the landing gear, and added some wiring and hose clamps made out of very thin stretches of aluminum foil tape. Time to go back to the real fun, painting. First step, pre-shading using marble effect. Next is the underbelly using AKRC241, Duck Egg Blue. Followed by taking care of the nose using Hambrol's Gloss Black number 21. And then painting the gray areas like the refueling door and masking it. Then on to the camouflage. Amit Yari spoiled me here too with a hard to find set of Hambrol enamel colors for Israeli Air Force. This was my first time using these paints. What do you think? Are they good representation of the real color? I think so. As the base was black, I thought it would be easier covering the entire model with a sand color, so later the green and black won't be too contrasty. Some bleaching adding white to the main color was used as always. Next thing was to paint the red lines instead of using the decals. A good tip is to lay a layer of gloss coat, preferably acrylic, before you spray the paint. The gloss coat helps seal any microscopic gaps in the masking and help prevent bleeding of the red. Acrylic is said to flow a bit more, which helps make sure it gets to all the gaps. I also went ahead and painted the yellow recognition triangles that were painted on the Delta Wing Israeli jets in the 73 war, after the Libyan Mirages appeared in theater. I wanted to challenge myself and reproduce the triangles as I saw it on Nesher number 525, where the black outlines do not touch the yellow triangle. I also wanted to make this model dual area, if that's even a word, so that one side represents the jet post Yom Kippur War, where all the kill markings are, the yellow triangles, and the street digit tail numbers are showing, while the other side represents earlier years, with 2 digit tail numbers and no triangles. Once the entire model was painted, and after a good coat of varnish, it was time to start weathering. The bottom got a Flory Models dark dirt wash. Here's a quick reminder of how the bottom looked before adding the wash, with only pre-shading, and the final result. For the top, I prefer to use a pin wash, which is more controllable. I find a full wash is usually too much. I start with highly diluted brown oil brusher, carefully touching the panel lines. Before you get all mad, I know most builders rather do the weathering after the decals. I do this before the decals for 2 main reasons. 1. Before and after decals you need varnish, which clothes the panel lines more. 2. If not enough varnish was applied, you run the risk of the wash getting under the decals. You can let me know in the comments below what you like to do first and why. Anyway, I felt the result was too brownish, so I used Tamiya black panel line accent it is very thin, so it doesn't completely cover the brown effect, which in Israel, with all the sand we have, makes sense. And this is the final result. With the weathering done, it's time for decals. I used, very carefully, a toothpick or a thin cotton swab to help the details show through the decals. Next, I wanted to replicate where the black line eats into the roundel, so I cut a slice of the decal, but I had cut too much and it looked bad. Thankfully, I was able to put on the missing part and this was fixed. Another issue I had was with the kill marking decals. In this kit, it comes as one decal, and although cartograph quality is great, it still leaves a huge and very noticeable film. Luckily, after spending some time in front of the TV while polishing the kit with a 8000 grit, I was surprised to see the film was gone. Try this at your own risk. As some of you know, I love sanding my decals. Yep, doing this very gently gives the decals a more realistic look in my opinion. Another thing I really like is to remove the decal film wherever possible. For this kit I use the grey decals for the A4 by Army Cast. I wish all decals were like this. After applying the decals and letting them dry, I gently start rubbing my fingers on the decal until the film starts to lift. Then, using tweezers, I remove all of it. The results are amazing. Check out my A4H Skyhawk build series to see more. It's time to move to the fiddly parts. Once again, I need to apologize. Messing with all these parts included turning the model around a lot, and so I skipped the video recording for this. I started with the landing gear, which were a bit of a hassle. Then moved on to put the aftermarket wheels, which weren't only oversized per scale, but also didn't fit in the landing gear. Things were looking bad. I almost went back to the kit's wheels, but they looked way worse than the aftermarket. So I started sanding and moving the landing gear around, till I got an okayish angle for the wheels. It's not 100%, but okay. For future builders, I would suggest doing some more research into this. Maybe you can find better aftermarket wheels, or aftermarket landing gear. Another royal pain was the aftermarket pitot tube. The kit one is really off, but gluing the aftermarket one is a challenge. And if you do it wrong, it could be devastating. So I took my time, made sure it's as level as possible, and sanded it before repainting the whole surface. The two probes that go right in front of the canopy looked also oversized, so I trimmed them down a little bit and put them back in. Now the probes, tube, antenna and canopy were all in place, and all I had left was to put those FOD covers, which I made out of cardboard and a long piece of hair my daughter gave me. And with this, the kit was done. So this was my inspiration, and this is the final result. All in all, I'm very happy with it. It was a challenge, not an easy kit, but it turned out okay. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry for the lack of video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, or check out my Facebook build album. It has tons of pictures. See you on the next one.